Hello, welcome, guys. We are getting ready to get started here on the RV Living Show. We're going to be talking about 3 signs that you're ready for a full-time RV lifestyle. Do you have a few of those telltale signs? Brian had to work on the camera, sorry.
Sorry about that.
That are maybe leading you to discover about full-timing. We're going to be talking about those things in just a minute. The RV life. We're surrounded with the message that it's a life you have to wait until retirement to have, and a life that only some can afford. And while it might be reality for those who want to believe that's true, we're on a mission to change that mindset and help people to stop wondering and start wandering to create a life they love.
Join us in conversations about how to design your RV life. We're Bryan Luann Street, and this is the RV Living Show.
Hey guys, welcome. So glad you joined us today. We are going to be talking about the 3 signs that you might be experiencing to know that you're ready for a full-time RV life.
That's right.
If you have any questions or comments and you want to leave them in the comments below, please do so. And at the end of this episode, we will talk to you about those, maybe answer any questions you have or talk about, the signs that you're experiencing. So, 3 signs that you are ready for a full-time RV life. Let's talk about those. Brian, what's the first one?
Well, I think the first one was going to be the great desire.
Great desire, yes.
That's because if you think about it, great desire could be the fact that you have like maybe the RV bug has just bit you really bad, and that's all you were thinking about. Hey, how can I get more time in the RV? Where can it take me next? I know we went through a similar thing, so definitely. The great desire, if the RV bug's biting you, is definitely a number one sign that you're ready.
So, and also you might be living for the weekend. That kind of goes along with that. You're living for the weekend, you're working all week, and you're like, oh man, I can't wait to get out there this weekend. I can't wait to get back in my home on wheels, so that I can experience that freedom and that thing that comes along with it. I mean, it's really hard to shake that off and not be changed by that, right?
Oh, absolutely. We used to take those weekend trips. We used to wait for the weekend, actually plan all week. Where we're going to go this weekend, and that was a big thing for us. And we'd always plan to pack out RV. And another thing, I guess, we didn't like to do is when we come home from that weekend, we didn't want to unpack that RV.
That is definitely a sign. You roll back in, and you're like, instead of being, oh, we're home, you're like, oh, I don't want to be here. I wish that I didn't have to unpack. I wish I could just keep going to the next destination.
That's right.
And so, that great desire has those 3 things inside. If you're experiencing any one of those, then that is, you're experiencing those signs. The RV bug, living for the weekend, you hate to unpack, all of those things. So we're going to talk about the next one is that you're ready for change.
Ready for a change. You may be feeling that you're like stuck in this rut, and every day is just like the same day over and over again, and you just something needs to change in your life.
Well, I definitely felt that way. I kept thinking, what am I doing this for? What is the next step for us? Why are we stressing out over, making more money, doing these things that just seem so redundant, and then I felt like a sheep, honestly. That whole, like, you're following behind the other sheep, just following along what you're supposed to do, waiting for the right time to do something. And for us, we had thought the right time was, way years later, 15 years from when we first started thinking about this. And we started thinking about, well, the right time, we didn't need to wait for the right time. We needed to take action to make it the right time, right? That is something that we're going to encourage you to do today. If you're just waiting and you're stopping yourself from, experiencing the full-time RV lifestyle because it's not the right time yet, you might stop and ask yourself the questions on why you're doing that. Why are you hesitating? what's holding you back? We've talked about that before in other episodes. Just really think about that. Why are you waiting? And there's good reasons to wait. There are good reasons to wait, but there are not good reasons to wait, right? So, if you're holding back because of fear of the unknown, you don't have the confidence. Maybe you think you can't make money on the road. We thought that, but we proved it wrong. And so we want you to change your mindset in that way. So, okay, so maybe the next sign in this part of that you're ready for change, maybe you're ready to trade your stuff.
Absolutely. I mean,
instead of having all the stuff, you're ready to make memories.
Well, we talked about that, how our stuff seems to kind of like hold you hostage.
It does. It certainly does. And we have this great quote today, that maybe the life you've always wanted is buried under everything you own. Our stuff holds us back. Our stuff keeps us from making changes when we want to have changes in our life.
Yeah, it did. I know that going through that time when we actually did the downsizing, I remember the fact that our stuff had those like maybe tugs on you, like,
sure they do.
Are you really willing to get rid of this?
Well, even back that up even further is, the first thing, you're not even thinking about transitioning yet. You're just thinking, well, I have, a car in the garage that I'm working on because I want to restore it. I have all these Hummels that I've collected over the years.
Absolutely.
I have 3,000 books in my library, and I have all these things. I can't full-time RV. And that is, something that you might, the sign you might be experiencing is that you're like, oh, you know what? I really want to make more memories than having all this stuff. And that is a pivotal time for you.
That is a pivotal time.
That's a sign.
When you can think about that in that light.
That's right. That is right. All right. So if any of those things are you, then you are ready for a change. So we're going to be talking about our third point here in just a second. I love that quote. If you guys want me to put it back up again, that quote really resonated with me. But we're going to be right back to reveal the last sign that we have right after this.
This episode of the RV Living Show is brought to you by the Full-Time RV Framework.
This program includes a 4-module, 26-lesson video course, a bi-weekly freedom call on Zoom, and group mentoring in a private community, downsized RV living course, so you can learn to downsize with ease, the RV Your New Home blueprints, so you can learn about your new home and how to use it, the Full-Time Transition Companion. This planner is where you plan your current life and transition tasks at the same time. Full-time RV maintenance and budgeting, and a Make Money on the Road resource guide. Everything in one place, so you can stop wondering and start wandering.
Learn more about enrolling in this complete solution for transitioning to the full-time RV life at fulltimervframework.com.
All right.
Okay, welcome back, guys. So the next one.
The next sign is you may be approaching like a milestone in your life. I know that certain things in your life may trigger you to start thinking about everything in your life. Am I getting out of like what I want? Mm-hmm.
That kind of goes back to our last thing about that you're ready for change.
Milestones, could come in so many different forms. I remember one big milestone for us was become an empty nester.
Yes, that was. Although, full disclosure, Bryan actually had the suggestion when we were in between jobs at one point that we take our kids and we go on the road. And there's lots of full-time families, so don't get me wrong. But at that time, we had 2 girls who took 30-minute showers each. And I was like, you know what? They were teenagers. I was like, I don't want to live with them and have them take 30-minute showers. And just that whole struggle right then. So, we really wanted to be empty nesters. And we had our daughter has taken her kids on the road full time. And I admire you guys who do that. But for a lot of us, empty nester is a milestone.
It definitely is a milestone. It could come in a lot of different other ways too. Like maybe you have a career change.
That is definitely the next milestone. You could, well, I know that's happened because of COVID.
Yes, that's right. We've met a lot of younger families or even younger couples nowadays who are on the road traveling in RV because of their job. Back with COVID, they couldn't work. They had to work remotely. So they took the opportunity to travel. I thought it worked out so good.
It did. And so they get to see the country, and maybe that happened to you. I know I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook lately about people, they've lost their jobs, or now their job has completely transitioned to being remote, and it doesn't look like it's ever going to go back. A lot of employers have thought about, wow, we've saved some money by these people being remote. So there are opportunities out there definitely for this to be a milestone for you to start considering full-timing.
Right. One other one we can think about is, obviously a milestone is retirement.
And I know a lot of us, that's what we were waiting for, or are waiting for. We're waiting, especially if you have that retirement package that's part of your job, and you don't want to give that up. I mean, I wouldn't want to give that up. We didn't have that. So that was why we went ahead and transitioned, was we had to make our own way, figure out what we could do financially. But if you're waiting on a retirement package, that could be a milestone for you.
It definitely can.
And, depending on how you're going to handle that is, are you going to get prepared right before you retire to do this? Or are you thinking about it a few years in advance so that you know exactly what you want to do? So those are things that, are the signs of, thinking that you're going to be ready to full-time. And so we want to end up chatting with you about those signs in the comments. So go ahead and leave those below. But we also wanted to offer you that we have a boot camp coming up, that if you're thinking about full-timing, you would want to get in on this boot camp. It's the Transition to Full-Time RV Living Boot Camp. And it's a 5-day workshop that we're having next week. In fact, we will not be doing our RV Living show on Wednesday afternoons next week, because we're going to be in this workshop every evening at 7 p.m. Eastern time in a private Facebook group. So you do have to register to get the link to join the boot camp. We do have a free workbook for you. We have that private Facebook group where there are some things going on in there. You're going to want to register at the link that's on the screen, and we'll give you all the details so that you can show up with us live. We're going to be teaching about transitioning to full-time RV living, and it's a really great, we did it as a workshop back in the fall, and back last summer we changed it to a boot camp because we're like, oh, camp goes right with RVing, right?
That's right. If you're thinking that RVing could be in your future, this could be really a place to start, because we'll be sharing a lot of information, each evening. And I really encourage everybody, if you're even all thinking about RVing or have that bug, join us, get this information.
Yep. So register at this link. The link will be above this video or below it whenever it goes out there on a replay. So if you're watching this on the replay, look for that. You can always DM us on Facebook, Instagram, or on YouTube, and we will happy to share the link with you that way. So let's start talking about who's in the comments with us today. Doug says the goal is to die with memories, not dreams. That is an awesome quote, Doug. I love that. I hope I can take that. That is amazing. So RV Quilt Quest says, I retired in 2018 to get my hubby and I ready to full-time. Husband got approved to go remote and he passed away. Now we've been taking care of business and I'm now ready. Well, we are really sorry for your loss, and that does happen. And the reality is it happens more often the longer you wait, because as we know, we're all getting older every day, no matter how old you are. Tomorrow you're a day older, and we're all not promised tomorrow. And that's not something that I'm trying to, tell you about being scared or insecure or anything about that. but that we only have a limited amount of time to make our dream happen. And that is why it's so important to really change that mindset, get rid of all those limiting beliefs, and really
focus on what we can do.
Focus. That's focus.
That's
Not just like we talked about last week in our episode about, someday. If you're only saying someday, you're not going to do it. Someday is not a day. You need to make it happen. You need to focus. You need to take action. So yes, we do have sympathy for you. But here's the thing. We are super excited that you're ready now. Like, you didn't give up on your dream. That is huge. That is huge. And we applaud you. You have so much courage. And if we can help you in any way, you just let us know. So Sharon says that she's registered for the boot camp and I'm looking forward to it. Awesome! Yay! Yeah, we're going to have such a good time. I'm telling you, it's going to be big. It's going to be big. It's going to be bigger than anyone we've ever had before. People are out there looking for this right now. They're looking for a way to change their lives, to do something different and not be stuck in the rut of what their routine of their lifetime is, or their lifestyle is.
Absolutely.
So, sorry, I didn't even scroll to the top. Here we go. Joanne Davis. Ready, just willing, need that RV. She's shopping. Oh, amazing. That's great. We'd love to know what you find out and what you come up with. That's great. DeFrost says, I have to wait for spring. I travel pretty much nonstop from late April to October, and then I put my life on hold again until next spring. I'm so ready to head south. That's the beauty of the RV lifestyle, right?
Go where we want to go.
Go where you want to go. Make it yours, right? There's no one right way to do it. You don't have to sell everything and give up your house if you don't want to, if you can make that work. There is no preset way that you can have a full-time RV lifestyle. So that's amazing that you're doing that.
Yeah, and heading to south in the winter has been great for us this year.
Although, yeah, right. I know. We feel bad for our RV friends in Texas that got in that terrible snowstorm just recently. But yeah, it's kind of, yeah, I feel bad. Yes. So we got some more comments here. Okay, so RV Quilt Quest says, thank you. She's been traveling in her van during COVID and love it so much. Looking forward for her RV. Yes, that's great. Yeah, you'll feel like you're in a huge condo after that. So after traveling in your van. Michelle says, we put money down on an RV this past week. Just one more step to getting out there and seeing the country. Oh, amazing. Great, Michelle.
That is pretty awesome.
Yay. Let us know what kind of RV you get. That's amazing. Cindy says, I hope to retire in 2 years. I work remote, so I still may work on the road. Need to get 2 adult children out of my house. Yeah, you know what? You just give them a date. Just like you set your date for freedom, you just tell them, hey, this is my date. I'm going out there. Because, we pour so much into our children. We really do. I mean, every waking moment of motherhood is spent on how can we help our children have more than we did, get better off financially than we were, all those things. And yet there comes a time they need to own it, right? And so just give them a date. So That's awesome. Kim says she bought her dream RV yesterday. And where do you hear our Wednesday calls? Okay, so right now you're on YouTube. So every Wednesday at 2:00, we're on YouTube and on our Facebook page and on our group, Stop Wondering and Start RVing. So if you want to join that group, we always stream into that one too for the people who are in there. But you're in the right place. You just have to show up at 2 p.m. on Wednesdays. Now, again, next Wednesday, we're not having a show because we're in our workshop all week, and that takes a lot of energy, a lot of time. And so we're not doing our show so we can focus on giving you guys a great boot camp. So if you want to join that, that is something you can do next week, and you can watch the boot camp with us. There will be replays on the boot camp, but showing up live is definitely the way to go because you can ask questions and interact with us just like right now. If you watch the replay, there's not so much of that. But the good thing is you can always get the information. The replays are going to be limited inside the private Facebook group. They're only open until Tuesday, March 9th, I think. So once the boot camp closes, those videos go away, and then you have to wait for the next time for us to do another workshop. So awesome, guys. Well, this has been great. Thank you for joining us.
Awesome.
Thanks for
exciting to hear people get in their RVs and put money down. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and Cindy says, I have my RV already, using it on the weekends. Oh, well, great. Oh, you're using it so you can get away from your adult kids, right? Or do they go with you? That's always, when we first got ours, our adult kids came with us a couple times, so that was fun.
Yeah, this RV, we tell them it sleeps too.
That's right. Awesome, guys. Well, we so enjoyed being with you today. Join us next week in the boot camp, and if you can't do that, then we'll be back to our regular RV Living show on a week from Wednesday at 2 p.m. right here on YouTube and Facebook. All right, guys, we will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you for joining us for the RV Living Show. We hope this episode helps you in creating an RV life you love.
Until next time, we encourage you to stop wondering and